We all have those special moments, those special people in our lives. And there's something we find special about our communities, our hometown. Behind that specialness, the uniqueness, we usually find those rare individuals who are and have created legacies through a body of work unparalleled at its core. Recently, my special place, my hometown, lost an icon, a legend, Coach Bill Harris, a man who touched life after life in a manner few do. A man with a legacy of success and significance. A man revered by all who God blessed with his presence. I've struggled with this loss, perhaps more than any other I have experienced. I admire, respect, appreciate. I love Coach Harris from the bottom of my heart and with all my being. My being. Coach Harris has been instrumental. He's been a rock in it, and any success, significance I have been a part of is only due to the impact he made on me early in my life. An impact that has continued since the first moment I met him. An impact that will go forward for the remainder of my time on this earth. While I realize there are thousands of individuals who have their story on the impact Coach made in their lives, I just want to take a moment and share my story of and with Coach Harris. I last heard from Coach in July 2025, just a few months back. I had sent him a copy of a book I had just written, one I was eager for him to see. And being true to himself, as he always was, Coach sent me a very kind and gracious text, telling me how much he appreciated being acknowledged as a positive influence in my life, stating that he found it very humbling. And then he added that he wasn't sure his name belonged in the same sentence as that of John Wooden. To say I was humbled by his message would be an understatement. But this was Coach, always lifting up. By the way, I told him he most definitely belonged with all of the greats, and that response got a smiley face from him. Coach was not just a mentor for me. He was a beacon of integrity, kindness, and unwavering purpose. My journey with him began when I was about 13 years old, a naive kid who thought success was based on the final numbers on some scoreboard on some field. He and his wonderful and beautiful wife, Gail, moved into the Coach's grandparents' property for a period of time, which was next door to where I lived. Coach Harris stood out as one of the first adult figures in my life outside of my parents. He had a distinct aura about him that combined both confidence and humility, creating an environment that was simultaneously authoritative and approachable. This balance not only commanded respect, but also fostered a connection that his mentees, such as myself, would always cherish. From that very first meeting, I was captivated by his character and the strength he lived out through the confidence he sustained in God, self, and his family. He embodied the principles of integrity and selflessness, both of which laid the foundation for a life dedicated to serving others. Coach Harris was the kind of man who lived his wisdom. He demonstrated through actions, big and small, what it meant to lead a life of clear purpose and to be a rock for those around him, a guiding star for those of us in need of direction. I was a complete pest during that time they were next door, and without question, I'm sure he and Gail breathed a major sigh of relief when they moved from the neighborhood. I would not have blamed them. Always showing up at the trailer when I noted Coach's silver Oldsmobile Cutlass at home. I wanted to simply be around them as much as I could to understand what success meant, to learn, to grow. I hope to have the comfort and focus he exhibited for the purpose of life God had set for him, for myself. Reflecting back, Coach understood his purpose was and continues to be pouring into the lives of others, to develop leaders, children of God, loving sisters and brothers of Christ. Coach did this and then some, my friends. No one, and I mean no one, has lived a life with a constancy of purpose as my hero, Coach Bill Harris, has. I've often said that Coach could have been a successful college football coach. He was that kind of leader, and I believe that to this day. But Coach knew he was meant to serve his God, his family, and the community he dedicated his life to. Coach Harris believed that the skills and values cultivated through the classroom and on the field could translate directly into personal and professional success. He inspired me forward every day to become an impactful and successful leader as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, as a coach, and as a leader. From that first meeting in the early 1970s, every decision I have been faced with making has included reflection on what Coach Bill Harris taught me. Now, I'd like to sit here and tell you that I nailed it each time, but truth is, I came up short more often than not. And when this happened, my shoulders would slump for just a bit. I knew I had let the man that I looked up to so very much down. From that short period of time he lived next door, through the next 6 to 7 years, my greatest moments took place when I was either in one of his algebra classes, helping him prepare the field for a game or practice, on the sideline during a contest, or during the laundry sessions that followed the Friday night games, late into Friday night and early Saturday morning, or perhaps at his home, reading to his daughter. Beyond those moments, there was a time when spring football meant preparing the junior high players for what was to come during the next fall season. And each spring, there was Coach Harris leading the way in that short 2-week or so season. He enjoyed every moment of his time coaching the players, and he enjoyed coaching the rest of us, such as myself, those who were managers, statisticians, fans, and students. I would watch him, I would listen to the guidance he provided to the players and other coaches, and I learned and I grew. Being honest, the growth was much slower than I had hoped it would be. But during the succeeding 50 years plus, it has happened. And it has happened only because of what this icon, this legend, poured into me. I remember a time during spring season, we had just wrapped up a practice, and while we were putting the equipment away, Coach grabbed a football and from the stage of the old French Lick High School gymnasium, took a shot. He launched a full court shot towards the basket. I have mentioned that he is an icon, have I not? Well, the football goes straight through the net. Coach celebrated by yelling, jumping up and down, and laughing as only he could. Coach never took another shot that day. In that moment, my eyes opened wider, perhaps than ever before. But it was another moment with Coach nearly 4 years later that touched my heart and my life forever. In the fall of 1976, my senior year at Springs Valley, the football team was playing for the school's first conference championship. We were still in the Blue Chip Conference at that time. To earn the title, we had to go on the road and play an arch nemesis, a team who quite honestly had whipped us around a number of times previously, North Knox. There was a lot of excitement on the sideline that night, and with the clock winding down, we were up 25-14. We had it. And as that clock went under the final minute, I was standing 20 yards or so down the sideline from where Coach was. And just a few seconds later, here he came towards me. Coach held out his hand, shook my hand, and looked me in the eye. Coach's strength in connecting with others began with eye contact. This is when you knew you were in the company of greatness. And he simply said, "Thank you." Outside of my wife, my children, my grandchildren sharing their love for me, no moment, no words have meant more to me in my life. I mean, come on. I used the word we previously, but I didn't do anything to win that championship. That was all due to the talent on the field. My friends, my peers, my classmates, my schoolmates, they accomplished that goal. Yet, Coach took the time to locate me on the sideline and come up to me to say thank you. Reflecting back on that moment, I know that he was thanking me for what we had come to mean to one another and for the time spent preparing that field, washing those uniforms, and for the late nights and the days getting the equipment ready together. Coach's impact has been and will continue to be broad, wide, and deep for me, as it will others. The influence he has had on hundreds, thousands of men and women of all ages speaks to the reverence he has with those that came along on his path of purpose. I'm so thankful that God blessed me and that both of my sons were able to grow through and from him. And even more so, I am grateful that their children will gain from his influence through their fathers. I am grateful for others who Coach impacted as well, who have been instrumental in my life and who were influenced by Coach Harris, including my wife, Debbie, who has great respect and admiration for Coach. And I'm sure she was one of Coach's prized math students. Some of my greatest friends, brothers and sisters, wonderful leaders and children of God who have influenced me, such as Tracy Tucker, Coach Mark Hammond, Steve Stimley, Coach Kevin Mills, many others, as well as my parents. My parents. Late in the lives of Coach's parents, Dean and Jenny, Mom and Dad would help them with such things as cleaning and other needs. Mom and Dad appreciated the support and confidence Coach Harris and his family provided by allowing them to be there for his mom and dad. Coach and his family were always so very kind to my parents, leaving a lasting impression, one that my mom noted as she learned of Coach's passing. That was and is Coach. When you met and spent time with him, his influence was lifelong. The influence he had on all has continued to aid my growth through the maturation process for life. It serves as a testament to the profound impact a single individual can have on one life and countless lives. In a world today often characterized by competition and self-interest, Coach Harris's legacy stands firm through his belief that the essence of true greatness lay in selflessness. He consistently prioritized the well-being of others, his family, his students and players over his own personal accolades and recognition. His unwavering constancy of purpose was evident in his dedication to improving not only the skills of the students and student athletes he taught and coached, but also their character and ethical compass. Coach prepared us to face challenges that would come through life. His essence was one focused on planting seeds for success and a life of significance through equipping each of us with integrity, resilience, and a level of empathy that would guide us all forward. Coach Harris personified excellence in all he did, and he expected the same from all around him. When you were in his presence and noted that commitment to excellence, you immediately respected, trusted, and revered him. He challenged while supporting, he expected growth, and he inspired belief in self. Without hesitation, Coach's legacy stands front and center with the impact and life he lived within his family, and a glorious family it is, with Coach and Gail seemingly always side by side and hand in hand. What a beautiful partnership they have been, a model of love. He was the steadfast figure for his wife, his children, and his grandchildren. And this enduring quality, his devotion for his family, extended beyond demonstrating a remarkable capacity for love that enveloped one and all. It was a paradox of strength wrapped in love, a characteristic that drew us all closer to him. The firmness of his principles provided stability, while Coach's kindness maintained an open channel for connection and influence. It was this characteristic that allowed anyone to approach him with questions, concerns, and aspirations, knowing he would offer thoughtful guidance rather than judgment. Throughout his life, Coach embodied the same principles that I had seen in him in the 1970s. This is what I referenced earlier as an unmatched constancy of purpose. Man, he had it like no other. As roles shifted, Coach transformed, but the essence of his focus, his purpose, remained unchanged. His legacy lives on forward. It will inspire not only those he has impacted through today, but it will live on through them and those they will influence with what he has taught us and modeled us all throughout our time with him. The lessons imparted by Coach Harris are multifaceted, not confined to the boundaries of practice fields or classrooms, but echoed throughout the corridors of our lives, guiding us in any number of situations. His teachings emphasize the power of a life lived with purpose. Throughout my own personal and professional paths, I strive to carry the lessons of integrity, selflessness, and unwavering devotion in such a way that Coach could be proud. These values serve as constant reminders of the power of the legacy that Coach, my friend, my inspiration, my hero, my brother, has provided. Life has a peculiar way, does it not, of demanding that we honor those who have shaped us. Yet in the hustle and bustle of everyday existence, moments dedicated to reflection can be so transformative. It's then that we must ask ourselves how we can embody those values we learned from individuals such as Coach Bill Harris. What does it mean to live authentically with integrity? How do we tend the garden of kindness, ensuring the legacy of love and respect is not just spoken about, but lived out in our actions? Coach Harris lived in a manner for us to see that the answer lies in consistency and devotion to purpose. It is easy to be kind when situations align with our expectations. However, the real test comes during adversity. This is where the lessons of integrity become the bedrock of our responses. They become the compass directing our decisions and interactions. The power of Coach Harris's legacy reveals itself not only in our successes, but also in how we navigate failure, stress, challenges, and confusion. As we reflect on the enduring impact those who influence us provide, such as what Coach Harris has given to so many, it becomes evident that our journeys are intertwined with theirs. Their legacy is not merely a chapter in our histories, but rather an ongoing dialogue, a conversation about how we choose to lead our lives. The nurturing of integrity and kindness enriches not just our own existence, but also profoundly touches the lives of others. Ultimately, just as Coach Harris did, we inherit not only the values taught by our mentors, but also the responsibility to pass them on. As we strive to honor their memory, we can cultivate a culture of integrity and kindness in our spheres of influence, continuing the cycle of positive impact started by Coach Harris and other exceptional mentors. The mentorship embodied by Coach transcends the personal touch. It serves as a testament to the highest calling of humanity to uplift, empower, and lead a life of purpose and love. If I may, as I close, speaking directly to Coach. Coach, I so very much wanted to honor you in a manner so deserving. I hope that I have done that through these words. You, Coach, were and always will be a rock for me and to so many, many more blessed by your time here on earth. As I reflected on the words I would say, I could align only best through the words that Bob Seger put into his terrific song, Like a Rock. Coach, for me, in my life, you were like a rock. Hands always steady, your eyes clear and bright, my friend. Your walk with a purpose and your steps quick and light. You held firmly to what you felt was right, for you were strong. Something to see. You stood proud, Coach. You stood tall, high above it all. My friend, more than 50 years now. Where'd they go? 50 years? I don't know. While I know I will sit going forward and wonder where they've gone at times. Coach Harris, I thank you, my friend, my brother, my mentor, for all you have meant to me, to my family, and to so many on this earth. Coach, you truly are now standing proud and tall next to Jesus Christ, once and for all, high above it all. Coach, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. Thank you.